Hello, everyone. My name is Julia. I'll be doing Mufasa's daily book reading. Welcome. So today we'll be doing a new book by Stephen Covey. As you see, it's titled The Third Alternative, Solving Life's Most Difficult Problems. Okay, without wasting any time, let's just get into the reading. So it has 10 chapters. I'll be starting with the first chapter, and it is titled rather the transition point. Okay, let me start with the reading. It reads: life is full of problems that seem impossible to solve. Personal problems, family problems, problems at work, in our neighborhoods, and in the world at large. Perhaps you're in a marriage that started off great, but now you can barely stand each other. You may have estranged relationships with your parents, siblings, or children. It could be that you feel overwhelmed and out of balance at work, always trying to do more with less. Or maybe, like so many others, you are tired of your litigious society in which people are so quick to sue you. Don't dare make a move. We worry about crime and its drag on our society. We see politicians going at it and getting nowhere. We watch news at night, lose hope that perpetual conflicts between people and nations will ever be resolved. So we lose hope, give up, or settle for a compromise that doesn't feel so good in the end. That's why I've longed to write this book. It's about a principle so fundamental that I believe it can transform your life and the whole world. It is the highest and most the most important insight I have garnered from studying those people who lead truly effective life. Basically, it's the key to solving life's most difficult problems. All people suffer adversities, mostly in silence. Most soldier on bravely in the face of their problems, working and hoping for a better future. For many, terror is just under the surface. Some of these terrors are physical, some psychological, but all are very real. If you understand and live by the principle in this book, you may not only conquer your problems, but you may go on to build a future for yourself that's better than you ever imagined possible. I did not discover this principle, it's eternal. But for those who apply it to the challenges they face, it's no understatement to say that it may be the greatest discovery of their lives. My book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, leads up to it. Of all the principle in the book, I called it the most catalytic, the most empowering, the most unifying, the most exciting. In the 7 habits, I was able to deal with this principle in only a general way. But in this book, I invite you to explore it with me much more broadly and deeply. If you pay the price to truly understand it, you'll never think the same way again. You'll find yourself approaching your most difficult challenges in life in an entirely new, exponentially more effective way. I'm profoundly excited to share with you stories about some rare people who have grasped this principle. They are only problem solvers, but also they are not only problem solvers, but also creators of the new future of we all dream of. Among many, you'll read about a father who rescued his troubled daughter from years of despair and near suicide in one surprising evening. A young man in India who is solving the problem of electric power for millions of poor people at virtually no cost. A police chief who cut the juvenile the juvenile crime rates in a major Canadian city by half, a woman who is bringing New York's polluted harbor back to life again at almost no cost, a husband and wife who once could hardly speak to each other and now laugh together about those difficult times. The judge who brought a quick, peaceful end to the highest environmental lawsuit in American history without setting foot in a courtroom, the principal of a high school for migrant workers, children who raised the graduation rate from a dismissal 30% to 90% and tripled his students' basic skill levels without spending more money. A single mother and her teenager who went from bitter confrontation to renewed understanding and affection. A doctor who cures virtually all his patients of a deadly disease at a fraction of the price other doctors charge. The team that transformed Times Square from a cesspool of violence and filled to the top tourist attraction in North America. Let me emphasize, none of these celebrity with lots of money, influence, or are, for most part, ordinary people who are successfully applying the supreme principle in their toughest problems, and so can you. I can hear you thinking, well, I'm not trying to do anything heroic like these people. I've got my own problems and they are big to me. I'm tired and I just want to find a solution that works. Believe me, there is nothing in this book that isn't both global and personal. This principle applies equally well to single mother trying her hardest to raise a restless teenager as to a head of state trying to stop a war. You can apply this principle to a serious conflict at work with your boss or co-workers, a marriage with irreconcilable differences, a dispute with your child's school, a situation that has put you in financial trouble, a critical decision you have to make on your own job, a battle over some issue in your neighborhood or community, family members who quarrel chronically or won't speak to each other at all, a weight problem, a job that doesn't satisfy you, a child who won't launch, a naughty problem you won't need to solve for a customer, an issue that might drag you into court. I have taught the underlying principle of this book for more than 40 years to literally hundreds of people. I've taught it to young children, to rooms full of corporate CEOs, to graduating students, to heads of state in some 30 countries, and to everyone in between. I've approached them all in virtually the same way. I have written this book to apply equally well to a playground, a battlefield, a boardroom, a legislative chamber, or a family kitchen. I belong to a world leadership group seeking to build a better relationship between the West and the Islamic community. It includes the former US Secretary of State, prominent imams and rabbis, global leaders, and experts on conflict resolution. At our first meeting, it became obvious that everyone had an agenda. It was all rather formal and cool, and you could just feel the tension. That was on a Sunday. I asked permission from the group to teach one principle before we went any further. They graciously agreed. So I taught them the message of this book. By Tuesday, the whole atmosphere changed. The private agendas had been shelved. We had arrived at an exciting resolution we had never anticipated. The people in the room were filled with respect and love for one another. You could see it, you could feel it. The former Secretary of State whispered to me, "I've never seen anything so powerful. What you've done here could totally revolutionize international diplomacy." More on this letter. As I said, you don't have to be a global diplomat to put this principle to people, to work on your own challenges. Recently, we surveyed people around the world to find out what their top challenges personally were on the job and in the world at large. Oh, so this is where I'll stop for today. It is really exciting to read this book because I think we all have problems of some sorts, and it's really exciting to find a way that works for different people, that help us solve our problems. So I'm really excited to be reading this book with you guys. So next week I'll be not next week, actually, on Friday, I'll be continuing with the second chapter. So I'm really excited to be reading this because I feel like I'll have a lot of solutions to the problems that I have. And for more, you'll find this on YouTube. You can find this video on YouTube, and our daily book readings are on Mondays, Wednesday, and Friday. So see you on Friday. Bye.